another live stream session with Phrankleen. If you're watching me for the first time, thank you for doing so. Welcome to Say It Like It Is. It's basically a segment where we talk about eclectic topics. People send me their stories to footchannel1960 at gmail.com. So if you resonate with me, I'll convert it to a live stream like this with the hope that we can learn from it, okay? So, what's going on? What's going on? Lulu, hi. If you can hear me, you can see me, smash the like button. Smash the like button. Let's get the show started. So, for those that have been watching me for a minute, a few days ago, I had a live stream, and that basically led to quite a few people sent me an email and said, Phrankleen, you know, they're hey, what's up, Isla? They sent me an email and said, can you sort of unpack it for us? You know, the true cost of living in the UK. So I've tried my best to, Toby Star, what's up? To sort of give a summarized and at the same time detailed and helpful, you know, data on what would help put things in perspective. And the reason these conversation is coming up and I decided to do this is, if you've not watched my previous live stream, for those that have not watched, you remember me talking about people who throw away all that they've built in the motherland to then come and end up in England in a factory job at the bottom of the barrel with nasty ass jobs. And then, you know, people deceive themselves that because the roads in England are paved, it's in fact sensible to throw away their 3-4 bedroom bungalows or duplexes and throw everything down the drain in the motherland. And then what tends to happen is when people get here, most of the time, a lot of these people are misinformed or they have limited information. So by the time they get absorbed into the Western system, which is already set in its own ways, they are hit by surprises, cultural shock, and the getting caught up in the web of survival jobs, or inability to get into the job market due to cultural differences and things like that, depleted funds. What then tends to happen is most of the time, especially with couples and families, it puts pressure on relationships and lives. And sometimes, in the worst case scenario, these things end up absolutely obliterating the structure of a lot of these, you know, families, and it brings things to an end and people tend to just go their separate ways. So because I had a total of about 6 people that sent me an email and said, Phrankleen, can you kindly put in perspective for us what the living cost is in the UK? There is one very particular email that stuck out. And I'll say this to some of you diasporans. Some of you diasporans, you're very wicked and heartless people. What do I mean? Stop going to Africa to misrepresent your lives in the West. Stop going to Africa to lie to your brothers and sisters. Don't project yourself as, oh, I am this big guy, I am balling, I'm making £10,000 a month, when in fact you have a basic life, you're working as a security guard, you rely on the state to sort of balance up on your earnings and all that. Some of these misrepresentation frauds by a lot of diasporans end up giving a totally dangerous, impression of life abroad. That's why when you go home, you're flossing, you're pretending that you have it when you don't have it. When you go to the motherland, you're flexing your iPhone 13, iPhone 14, or whatever iPhone you've got on you, and your youngins back home, people ask you questions, and then you pretend like you've bought the iPhone cash in hand. Meanwhile, you're paying for that iPhone on a monthly basis at £40 a month, inclusive of your phone, of your phone, contract and all that. You're paying maybe for nearly £50 a month, but you would flex and show them the phone like, oh yeah, 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 I bought it outrightly. Somebody in Nigeria, an average person, is looking at your phone and they are thinking, this phone is more than £1 million. So they have an impression that you've got it like that. Not until they get to the West before they start to unpack your lies, your fake life. Okay? Stop lying to your siblings. Stop misrepresenting. Stop misleading people. And I say that respectfully. Now, what's up, Dinah? Good to have you here, Dinah. Um, as I was saying, there are plenty of people that they wouldn't have left the shores of Africa if they have a clear, genuine picture of where they're going to. Usually, people would have spent a lot of money based on misinformation. So by the time they get sucked into these system, it's too late. Okay? And we're usually blinded by religiosity, omada, oh, it go better, oh, things will get better. But the truth is, reality sucks them in. And it hurts me, and I keep talking about this. I'm not going to stop talking about it. Particularly for those who have done very well for themselves in like Nigeria or Ghana or whatever. And there's a gentleman, before I forget, that sent me an email after watching my last live stream. He lives in Port Harcourt in Nigeria, Port Harcourt, right? He's a 29-year-old young man. He has a successful piggery business on the outskirts of Port Harcourt, yeah? And he's also supplying some chemicals or something with his older sister, right? And the guy said, check this out. The chemical business gives him monthly profit because he splits the profit with his older sister. He said, for now, we've only been running that business for like 8 months. And he said, for now, I am making 1.9, 2.1 million naira per month. It's a small scale business, profit, after splitting with his sister, right? From the other piggery business, monthly, like they do, I think the piggery business, they do like the slaughter and then they sell it in batches to consumers and stuff. And it's a joint ownership with a good friend. And from that, he sees roughly 3 million naira a month. Now, if you do the combined income, 3 million, 2 odd million from the other chemical business. This dude, 29-year-old, lives in Port Harcourt, makes about 5 million naira a month. I was reading the email. The first thing that came out of my mouth was, wow. But I respect this young man because he said, Franklin, I started watching your channel about 4 weeks ago. He said, can I ask you? He said, I was actually contemplating, because he recently got married, and he said, I've been contemplating on moving to the UK with my wife, and they have a 5-month-old baby. And I had to tell him the truth. I said, if you shut down the chemical business, you throw away the piggery business. I said, if you move to the UK, you will regret it for the rest of your life. I told them the truth. Because how many diasporans are here in the UK making 5 million naira a month? I'll wait. There are people that would say, oh, I make more than that monthly. The number is very small. And the thing is, these businesses have these businesses have a potential of growing a lot bigger than that. Do you understand what I'm saying? This business have potential of growing bigger, because he actually said to me that with the chemical business as he's running with his older sister, there's been growing interest from Lagos State, from Osun State, from Zaria, and some other parts of Nigeria, because they've managed to build more contacts and links, right? So that means the earning capability, he said, in the next 3 to 4 months would hit the sky. Do you understand? So if you throw all of that away, if you throw all of that down the drain, just to blindly being the objective word, to blindly go abroad, it's a major mistake. So before we crack on, I have a breakdown here of the average earning in the UK. Now, I'm not even going to touch on the professional jobs, because when you look at it like in a pyramid form, there is a lot more people at the bottom end of the spectrum. That's fact, okay? Surviving on what do you call it, man? Non-white collar jobs, okay? So the average job in London, in the UK, in London, I think is about 26. Average earning is about £26,000 a year, if I'm correct. So there are plenty of our people that are coming abroad. This is the truth, that are leaving fantastic positions back home and coming to work as factory workers. They're working for Amazon. They are working in the factory. They are doing dead-end jobs. They are wiping the butt cheeks of elderly people. Now, let's say you find a factory operator job, yeah? Salary range of about £9.70 an hour to maximum of £12 per hour. And you can be rest assured that if you've just landed on the shores of the UK, nobody's going to pay you £12 per hour. You can forget about the £12. £9.70 an hour on like a 60 hours shift per week. Yeah? You've just newly arrived and this is it. So £9.70 times 60 hours. It gives you about £2,338 per month before tax. Yeah? Times 12 in a year, we calculated that to be about £27,000, 936, roughly about £27,000 a year. Yeah? Now, so let's say £27,000 a year job. Yeah? Remember I said the average salary in the UK, average earning packet in the UK, it's about 26K. So this is even slightly more. So the gross pay is, this calculation, by the way, is based on one person, an individual, yeah? So gross pay is £2,328. Now, tax, have you applied what should be the tax code of an individual, yeah? Tax should be about £256, 10 pence. National insurance contribution, which is mandatory, same as tax. That one will be £207.76. So you should be left net pay. Your take home should be about £1,864 and 14 pence. Yeah? If you know friends, families, people who are contemplating to come abroad, let me put a disclaimer before I carry on. Nobody's trying to dissuade you. One of the catastrophic problems that plague our people is they blindly approach traveling abroad. A lot of our people, okay? Then you get here, you start screaming Jesus, you start screaming Muhammad, start screaming Allah. Nonsense. You should be aware of where you would like to go to, so that when you get there, or before you even go there, you can sit at the drawing board and tell yourself the truth. Nurse pay is 1,700 monthly after deduction. Right. So, do you understand? Yeah. So, as I was saying, so let's say you earn £1,864. Yeah. Now, let's look at your monthly outgoings because you've got to pay bills, right? Deductions for a single person. Now, it's important that I tell you this. If you're coming from Nigeria, you're more than likely you're used to maybe living in a house where you have your own room with families. You can walk to the bedroom, you can walk to the kitchen, you can go into your dad's room, your mother's room, or perhaps even you can even go into your, if you have a partner, go into their bedroom. Do you understand? You're used to, or you probably were living in your own apartment. You had your own space, your own privacy. Now, realistically, because of the heightened cost of living, based on these type of earning, you are not going to be able to rent an apartment whereby you live alone. So most people would end up in a shared house. What do I mean? Whereby it could be a converted 4-bedroom house or 5-bedroom, a house converted into like a 4, 5 bedrooms, or sometimes even a bit more. So more than likely, you're going to have a room to yourself and you end up sharing the kitchen space, right, with someone, and also toilet and bathroom. Even in some houses, you may be lucky whereby it's just you and one other person. In some places, you're sharing with perhaps 2 or 3 more people. So basically, if somebody's in the toilet blowing up the toilet, you're gonna have to wait until they finish, and you can go in there with a gas mask so that you don't pass out. And before you take turns, you share the kitchen, you're going to share the fridge. So these are some of the cultural shocks, because realistically, based on the pay pack, you are not going to be able to afford to live alone, especially if you want to stay within London, which is the capital city. Most people live in London, except you then decide to go outside London, where you might be able to find where things are slightly cheaper. Now, check this. Deduction. So if you live in a shared house for one person, one room, starts from like £500 in a decent, reasonably sized room, or let's say 550 at the bare minimum. Yeah? £550. So take that out of your pay pack. Now, talk about transportation. From zone 1 to 2 on a monthly basis, it will be £147.50. And it goes as far as to zone 6 and even beyond zone 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. But I've done zone 1 to 2, £147.50. Zone 1 to 6, £270 monthly. Should you need, depending on what part of London you live, depending where your place of work is, you might need to take the trains on a monthly basis to take yourself from point A to B, right? Now, if not, I've also put the cost of the bus passes. Bus passes about £89 and 50 pence for a monthly bus pass if you're reliant on buses, depending on the jurisdiction where you live and where your place of work is, all right? Now, food shopping. Now, check this out. It is average calculation, the data is public. A single person should spend about £175 a month feeding themselves. Now, for those of you Africans, if you're then, that this is based on if you're buying normal grocery shopping, like going to a Tesco, Sainsbury's, Aldi, Lidl, Morrison's, all of those grocery outlets. Similar ones in Nigeria, like say you're going to like ShopRite, them places. Now that's separate from if you're buying your African food, you spend more. like you're trying to do your shopping, like going to buy your meat, your fish, your chicken, um, your cow tripe, like you love to eat in Nigeria and stuff like that, yeah? It would cost you more than £175. And that's you alone, right? Bear in mind. So now you've got that, you've got internet. Internet is usually between 15 to £20 on average, depending on who your supplier is, right? There's 15 to £20 a month for your internet broadband. You'd want internet at home, right? Some places might be a bit more, £30 a month, but between 15 and £20 a month, you should be okay. Now, mobile phone, it's a bit tricky, that one. Your mobile phone on a monthly basis, you might be paying about what? From like £10 on the bare minimum, like SIM only contract deals, to if now it comes to if you're trying to get the fancy phones like the latest Samsung, the latest iPhone, the latest this, latest that, there is a common practice here in the UK where you go to the phone shop, they do a check on you, a credit check, and if you pass and stuff, instead of you paying for the phone outrightly, which most people might not have the cash to put down, they will factor in the amount into a monthly payment. Okay, so that will be inclusive of your phone line. So you're looking of about between 10 to £50 a month. Thank you, Joby. Right? So I've even put down about £40 plus. So roughly that amount maximum. Because if you're paying for the phone itself, inclusive of the phone line, it will go that high. Does that make sense? You could use your mobile phone as a Wi-Fi rather than home broadband. Well, it depends. It depends on possibly if you're by yourself, you're not a heavy user. It depends on the individual, right? Now, for those that are religiously inclined, if you are catering to your religious inclination, I don't mean this in a bad way. So say, for example, you're a Christian and you go to church. So if your salary after tax is £1,864, so you are expected to pay a tithe, 10% of £186.41 in tithe to whatever religious institution you belong to. But you should see that as a form of deduction, right? Now, if you go to your churches on, say, I'm actually saying averagely on Sundays alone, with a minimum donation of offering donation of £10, and you go like 4 times in a month, that's about £40 a month in offerings. Now, some people, depending on their lifestyle, their job and whatever, some people might even go to churches on a midweek basis, right? Now, if you then have families back home who are blazing your phone, your WhatsApp, they are on your neck on a monthly basis. I've put down, somebody said, Wahala for Taipei. No, we've got to say the truth, because if you're a Christian, you're religiously inclined and you believe in what's stipulated in the Bible, then you're conditioned to pay 10% of your earning. So that goes to whatever institution that you belong to, okay? Now, if you have a family back home, let's say averagely, and I'm just saying averagely, I don't, you could have, depending on the truckload of responsibilities on your shoulder, averagely, you may be shelling out about £200 a month. Now, based on my calculation, okay, you will be left with about £293.23. And please, that amount is, if you convert it to Naira, it's about 224,000. But check this out, £293 that you're left with as disposable income for you to be able to save. Now, that's excluding any form of emergencies. Do you understand? We've basically tried to cut down. Also, I should also tell you that the rent, if you're living in a shared house, there are different conditions. Some places, When they ask you to pay £550 or £600 a month, they will tell you that all the bills are inclusive. There are some places when you pay £550, they'll still require you to pay separately for gas and electric. There are some places like that. So that's additional outgoing. So what I'm effectively saying is, thank you, Joby. There are also some places they may even need you to contribute towards council tax, water. Most places, in shared places, it's all inclusive. A lot of places, all inclusive. But there are places where you will have to pay towards water, council tax, like the gentleman has put on the screen. So a lot of people, so when it comes to savings, you can sort of gain an insight why it's absolutely possible to live abroad and spend donkey years trapped in poverty without being able. I was flexing then as a student. Oh yes, student life is different. So it's absolutely possible for you to live abroad and be broke as hell and not have the ability to save. Now, another thing is, another major trap is if you go down the slippery slope of obtaining credit cards to sort of prop up your expenditure and all that. Whew, it's nice to spend those credit cards. When it comes to paying it back, that's why there's a lot of diasporans have lived abroad. It's absolutely impossible. Remember, I've used this guideline just, of course, somebody said before you earn 30K plus as a year as a nurse, you will work loads of extra shifts. And let me just tell you, nurses, they use them, they work like crazy. My husband is in Nigeria, a fish farmer. I'm in the USA, and I can't afford to immigrate him in right now. Why don't you look into how to grow your husband's fish farm? If your husband's fish farm in Africa has a potential of growing bigger, why don't you look for a way to invest in your husband's fish farm? Go and join him and grow that fish farm into a mega business. I'm just saying, it's just advice. You don't have to take it. Those figures are a bit overinflated. You could always get a better deal than that. What figures? What figures? What's this one saying? What better? What figures are a bit overinflated? What figures are overinflated? What figures? I think you live in a special type of UK. What figures? I've used figures based on life in London. For women to do their hair in the UK. Exactly. So you see, oh, Dinah, thank you. Then those with children, is there support from the government? Thank you, Dinah. Now, for those with children, so you see, I have put these down based on it's an individual, yeah? Now, if it's husband and wife, and let's say you have one child or two kids, yeah? You can't live in one room because most places in shared homes or shared environments, that some of them don't even like people with kids. So you can't live with somebody said you could rent for £400 a month. Of course, you could rent for £400 a month. What's the size of the room? What type of house is it? What are you getting for £400? Of course, you're saying it as if, oh, £400 a month is everywhere you look at. It's a fantastic deal. It's amazing. Who you think I don't know that you can get places? There are loads of whack, disgusting, terrible houses, small rooms, single beds. There are rooms with single beds for 400 quid. Of course, don't mind him. They would come here. They would start saying 400. If you get a box room for £400, it's a box tiny room, single bed. Yes, Dinah was talking about if it's a couple. So like if it's a couple, you'll be forced to go and rent um a 1 bedroom flat at the very minimum. Or okay, for example, you would need like at least a 2 bedroom to be able to survive. You can't Most places are not going to. You can't even survive in one room because you wouldn't have space. So if you're going to rent, and that's a lot more money that has to go out for like a 2 bedroom flat. So in that case, to rent a 2 bedroom flat in London, it's near impossible. I mean, depending on what you are earning, right? So more than likely, you'll be outside London. You'll be on the edge of London, right? So you basic under the stairs in Toronto is $300. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it'd be bloody expensive. Oh, come on, bro. I rent a 2 bedroom for £750 in Northampton. That's Northampton. I know. You're not lying. Of course, that's Northampton. Do you understand? And then there is the issue of, should the wife want to go to work and all that stuff, you've got to think of childcare. There's childcare cost. Childcare, if you got children, is inevitable. Nobody's going to work for free to help you look for children. Nobody. It's bloody expensive. Childcare. Whew. Now, children, what do you call it? People, children, bear in mind, if you're a permanent resident, depending on your visa status, if you don't have recourse to public funds, you may not be able to get government support. So bear that in mind. Sometimes when people have just newly arrived, it's impossible to just especially from Africa, from EU countries. In the past, I believe, though it's easier for those, but not people coming from Africa, that you come and then you just want to get, no, until you become a permanent resident before you can then claim public funds. Do you understand? Government support. So, and also that depends on your earning bracket, the household income. There's so many factors. So then before they can say, okay, you get child benefit or child tax credit, or maybe working tax credit, but and that's if you're a permanent resident. But it's not some luxurious amount of money. Even if you get help towards childcare, it's calculated to the T. Exactly. Your visa will say no recourse to £1,000 per child per month. Oh, you can spend more than £1,000 a month if your child is going to the childminder full time. Do you understand? You see, the premise of what I'm saying is. So again, let me digress. Let me digress. Let me digress. I was paying $2,500 for childcare for my 2 kids. Childcare in the West is crazy. So let me digress. The point I'm trying to make here, this is not designed to dissuade you. The example I've given here today at the start of this live stream is, in fact, just using a single person. Life in the West is very, very expensive. Now, there are people within, the black community who probably have um, well-paid jobs, who have paid their dues in the system, spend years, or they got professional qualifications. I've always said this. Maybe you're a lawyer or something, and it depends. What kind of lawyer are you? Do you have your own firm? Are you the owner? Is there an immigration firm or something? If you're just working as a lawyer for a big law firm, you could be on not so big salary for some years. Do you understand? So the reason I'm banging on this is, please don't leave the shores of Africa coming here thinking you're going to press on a miracle button and then tada, some crazy stuff would happen for you. Let me also tell you this. Depending on the type of visa, or you've come in with, if you need to renew them maybe every couple of years or something like that, when it comes to time of renewal, you would need to have saved money to pay to the UK Immigration Department. And if it's, some people can't do it themselves, if you need a lawyer, lawyers will want to get paid for their immigration fees, and very rightly so. They are working, they need to earn. You will pay substantive fees to extend your papers. If it's you, your husband, or you, your wife and children, and you have limited leave to remain, or you have a type of visa that needs, or they've given you like a 2.5, or whatever they've given you, and you need to extend it, you'll have to pay. 1 hour lawyer consultation is 150. Some lawyers, they're fair. They might give you free consultation and all that. They give you free consultation, and then they reel you in when it comes to paying their fees. You pay their fees, you pay the fees for the UK Immigration Department to extend your papers. I've seen people who, when it came the time to extend their papers or renew their papers, they didn't have the money. When it comes to immigration lawyers within the black community, that's a different topic for another day. Applicants' fees are from £1,500 with a lawyer. You're right. You're on fire today, Joby. Thank you for the support. So think about it. I've seen plenty of people that when it came to the time for them to renew their papers, they had to borrow money because they didn't have the money saved. You see, this is why I'm banging on about the fact that, please, it comes from a place of love. Nobody has the power to block you from traveling abroad. This nonsensical mindset of, oh, they don't want me to prosper. Oh, they don't want me to come there. I've said this before. There are plenty of people that say, oh, if it's not that great, why don't you come home? Can I tell you the truth? Most diasporans don't have the money to come home. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I love my brothers and sisters. I'm telling you the truth. You don't expect people to carry a billboard and put their business on the high street or on the internet. Fact. See, indefinite leave to remain is 2,909, excluding exams and tests, application fees. Most people are trapped abroad. They haven't got the money. There was a guy, I was talking to him the other day. I said, when was the last time you went to Nigeria? He said the last time was 2012. So I said, wow, really? And he was like, Franklin, no. It's not because I'm afraid of Nigeria. I said, bro, I don't have it like that. He has 3 children. A lot of things happened, highs and lows, lost job, they got bills to pay. Life. That's why a lot of diasporans, even when they come home, they can't bring, if you're married, you're here abroad, you have your wife, you have 3 children. How many diasporans can travel with husband, wife, 3 children, jump on the same flight? 5 people. Go to Nigeria for 2 weeks. That's excluding spending money. Well, not fairly. Just like me, I have 4 kids and I can't afford my flight. Been in USA since 2003. This is the harsh reality. And this person saying this, does that mean that person is incompetent? No, it's just harsh reality about life. And then you see people back home. The universe has allowed for you to do very well with your life. You've managed to build business. You've managed to save. You've managed to build a house. Do you know how many? Do you know how many? For Ifa divination compatibility, thank you, Akwitombi. Compatibility checks, Akosajaye, predestination check, send an email to Phrankleen, okay, if you're interested in that. For those of you that are still waiting for the outcome of your Ifa divination, I remember now, just bear with me. I'll get in touch with you end of this week, okay? We are dealing with it in batches, all right? Just bear with me. It's at least 5K for a family to fly, of course. I was at a Nigerian party some days ago, and I was catching up with an old friend. And the guy, we were eating, we were dancing, and we were chatting on the side. And I was like, dude, when are you planning to go to Nigeria? He said, to go to Nigeria, myself, my wife, and 2 children. He said, and to spend money and all that. He said, for a to and fro flight and to have money to look after ourselves. So I need minimum of £7,000. So I was quiet, and I was like, so are you going? He goes, bro, can't afford it, man. Do you understand? I'm telling you the truth. Hey, all these calculations does not include clothes and shoes and eating out and drinking out. I deliberately just try to be conservative, because of course you don't do clothing shopping on a monthly basis. But yes, like the person said, how about clothing? That's why there are people who live in the West and they don't even have 4 pair of shoes. You think they don't want clothing? They can't afford it. Mike Ayer, thank you for the super chat. Thank you. I'm about 7K in this COVID era. Traveling is in my TL me about 7K. Hello. Oh my God, Fabra at a singlet. I'm telling you, man. There are people who they probably don't fall in that category. They have a nice earning, they have businesses and all that stuff. Somebody said that now, Yahoo. I suggest if you want to fly home regularly, you or a member must work for an airline to immediate family can fly free back and forth. Of course, my sister has been in UK for 47 years. She's now retired and nothing to show for it. She's contemplating retiring back to Nigeria. She said UK is not what people think it is. You see, whilst it serves at what appears as a safe haven. And don't get me wrong, if we want to look in terms of the argument of, the amenities, the good roads and all that, it's not even free. It's funded by taxes and all that. And I understand that. I have people in my own extended family here who they're older now, in their 60s, late 50s, some even in their 70s and all that. They have health problems, diabetes and arthritis, bones are brittle, they're elderly now, and they get their medication every 2 weeks from their pharmacies. They go for medical checkups. There are people treating cancer, there are people with kidney issues. And I know someone that said, look, I better remain in the UK because of the drugs that I get. So because if I move to Nigeria, I haven't got the money to pay for the medication, and I'm afraid I may die very soon, very quickly. And that's the truth. Now, this is not me trying to sell you a narrative of doom and gloom. I'm telling you, the West is an illusion of inclusion. Now, you might do pretty well. Somebody said TV license. Thank you. I actually missed that. Thank you. TV license, that's another one. Part of the monthly outgoing. Now, if you decide to own a car, remember you have to put a deposit down and then pay monthly for the car. Now, then you have the MOT, the road tax, insurance, petrol, parking contraventions, £159 a year for TV license. And the thing is, when you have children, when you have children or you have a slightly big family, ownership of a car is not luxury. It becomes a necessity, getting from A to B and all that. And the car becomes a silent child that you have to look after. Africans, we create our own problems because we do not want to face objective reality. We prefer to believe in fictions and fantasy. Meanwhile, France is extorting $500 billion per year from Africa. Of course. So, school trips, parties, thank you. When you have children in school, there are trips. Oh, we need to donate £15. Tithing is what usually suffers for us. The West teaches you to be less religious, fast. Even pastors will need to get a job, not wait to hear from God, of course. So, in closing, what I'm saying is, this is the reality of the West. I have been very, very conservative with the breakdown that I've shared with you. People are genuinely struggling. This is why I say you've got to learn to say no to families back home. This is not because, oh, Phrankleen is putting out this gospel of you have to hate on people. A lot of you that go home and misrepresent your actual status abroad. You go to Nigeria, you travel back home to Ghana, and you flex, and then, oh yeah, I want a gun, a gun. You're flexing, you're misrepresenting, like, oh, you've got it like that. A lot of the people back home, they are way better than you. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm from the UK, bruv. You get me? Yeah, this is my iPhone 13. Yeah, I paid for that iPhone. Yeah. Oh, so you paid £1,000 for this? Yeah, cash money. And your black behind knows that you're paying for that phone on a monthly basis. Emma Baro? Yeah, your car is your silent child that you have to care for. A car is like a child. I call a car a silent child. You have to. The outgoings on a car alone, the outgoings on a car maintenance, MOT tax. This is why people 55, 54, I don't have any land in Africa. I don't have this. I'm this and this and this. This is why. You hear somebody, I'm making 7 figures. And then you come here, I work for Amazon. I give God the praise. The UK is very good. The light. I have not seen any pothole. You are crazy. Yeah, here in the UK, I went to see my local MP. I sat in the meeting with him. Yeah, in Nigeria, you cannot sit with the local government chairman. The local MP, he sat with me. I took pictures. It goes to 7-day Adventist. The UK is the best. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, this country is really good. Illusion of inclusion. So what's that got to do with the price of bread? That you're able to go see a local MP for 20 minutes on a Saturday, and then you sit down. Yeah, man. I go to central London. I'm walking past the Downing Street. The British Prime Minister waved at me. I said hello to him. The UK is good, man. That's right. And then you're suffering. Illusion of inclusion. People can't save money. You're broke. Electricity, thank you, Beverly Smith. Electricity and gas has gone up by 54%. You're right. Electricity and all these things are bloody expensive. If you're going to any of these churches, yeah, and these pastors they're telling you, I need 30 people to come out and give the Lord £1,000. The Lord told, bro, you need to trick those charlatans to the car park of the church where there is no CCTV and bust their goddamn mouth. What do you need to do? £1,000. That's over 765,000 naira. That can go towards a deposit on a land. That can go towards, trust fund for your children's future. The Lord told me that 30 people. Is that right? Pastor, can I have a word in the car park? I need to bust your goddamn mouth. Or do you need to buru? You know, when we're talking, when I talk about on a very final note, when I talk about Ifa, Elomi Tishishe, when I talk about African spirituality, yeah? Because why? I talk about neocolonialism. I talk about how the minds of a lot of our people have been damaged back home. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, I've seen this firsthand. A lot of young people back home, their ultimate goal in life is they must get to the UK, they must get to the US. They are ready to destroy what they've built. I saw a guy in Nigeria that was supplying kuli. Kuli is made out of peanuts, blended and all that. It's a snack that we eat in Nigeria called kuli. He packages it and he sells it. Dude told me that, bro, this is a 31-year-old guy. He said, I'm supplying it, to outlets and all that. I'm seeing about 3 million, 3.5 million a month profit. I said, Lori kuli. He took me to his little place where he does the packaging. His mom helps him. 3.5 million, yeah? He's living in a rent-free house. He's driving a Toyota Camry that his sister from Texas in the States sent to him. And he was talking to me, what are the best packages for him to move to United States? And I said, dude, why? Why do you want to, why? I was even telling him that, why don't you work with your sister to see how you can export this kuli to the US, to African shops, so that you can earn in Forex? Do you understand? Or get a US visa, go to the US for like a month, so that you and your sister can look for African shops and you can build contacts. And then you can hopefully give them samples of your products and you can ship from Nigeria and you can make Forex. He didn't like the idea. He wants to go and live in the US. And we stood there for like an hour and I was trying so hard. I said, dude, this is a good business. This is smooth. I said, plenty of people abroad, they don't even have these type of money. But he's looking at me with disdain, like buying so he got it, like, bruh. And don't worry on you feel like, do you see what I'm saying? £550 a month for a room in a shared house in London. If you convert it to Naira, that's over 400 and something, 420 or something thousand Naira per month. That's mind-blowing. This is why people that are contemplating on going abroad, you need to be aware. If you times that by 12, 12 months in a year, that's about 5 million Naira to stay in one room in the heart of London. Let that marinate for a minute. That's excluding everything else. That's on a monthly basis. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, if you know what you're doing, you can get into business. You can get a medium-scale business off the ground with 5 million Naira in your hand. Do you understand? Yeah. In Ibadan, for example, a 3-bedroom apartment in like Oluyole Estate area and stuff to rent for a year, it's like half 500,000 naira. That's like roughly like £600 plus for a whole year. A lovely, nice 3-bedroom, maybe in a 3-bedroom apartment or something. Yeah, nice. All the bedrooms en suite. That's a year's rent. There are, even though that, depending on where you want to live, there are places where you pay £1 million or more. But what I'm telling you, I mean, in Lagos, if you're hell bent on going to live in Lekki and all these overly expensive areas, fair enough, you're going to pay more. You can pay, a few millions a year plus service charge and all of those things. Okay, that's different. There are even parts of Lagos that you can live for a lot less in a year. Do you understand? Now, Bodija is 1 million naira 2 bed. Of course, come on, Olufemi and Bodija. Bodija is a nice part in Ibadan. Come on, man. So I know you are right. You pay that much to share the kitchen, the toilet, the living room. You even have to wake up early to use, the toilet. Yeah, you have to open the door and slide into the corridor to see if your neighbor is in the kitchen, who is in the toilet, who is in the bathroom. Is somebody still using the shower? Let me rush in there and have a quick shower before my neighbor wakes up, before they blow up the toilet. That's right. You rush into the toilet to go and sit on the toilet, and the toilet feels extremely warm because your neighbor's thighs have been on the toilet. Your neighbor has been there and made a natural connection with their butt cheeks on the toilet. You ever sat on the toilet and you feel your balls heating up from beneath? Somebody's just been in there to answer to or you have to rush in there. If you forget to take your air freshener, you have to sit on there and, just do your business and, dash out. And it's even worse if you're sharing a space with someone and they are filthy pigs. Goodness gracious. You're using a kitchen and some people don't clean after. If you have a good level of hygiene and the other person is just a pig, it's a problem. There will always be a clash. There will always be. And this is the harsh reality. It's very, you see, the reason I'm breaking this down is you can see somebody on Instagram, they're all fresh and fly, and they live in a house where they're sharing with 4 or 5 people. It doesn't make them less of humans. It's the harsh reality of life abroad. So you live in Lagos, you live in Ibadan, you live in Oshogbo, you live in Abeokuta, you live in whatever you live in Nigeria, and you live in a 3-bedroom house, big, wall wardrobe. You have air conditioning system, right? You don't even pay rent, or your rent is peanut. You want to take all of those things with your medium scale business that gives you roughly 2 million a month. You want to go to London. Yamaje. Now, for those with transferable skills, like maybe, you're a programmer, you have a solid IT background and all of those things. Yeah. You'll be able to to be transferable skills and bring them to the West and all those things. You might be able to find your footings. But the reason you notice I don't bang on about people like that, at the bottom of the spectrum, it's crowded. There are loads of people there. And that's where the everyday reality is for the African living abroad. It's a huge generational misconception about life abroad. And this is it. There is also a mental code of practice. Once you get into the system. So imagine now, I'm a big boy in Nigeria. People know me locally within my jurisdiction. I wasn't doing bad. So let's say I was overzealous, I got the wrong visa or whatever. I'm now in London. I'm having to work with a care agency. No disrespect to anybody that works a care job. I'm just talking. I'm working as a security guard with my security badge, SIA badge, desperately sellotaped to my left bicep. My white shirt and black trousers, desperately arranging the trolley baskets in the nearby Tesco, right, to earn my living. I wouldn't want those people to find out on Instagram. I wouldn't. Every of my pictures will be taken after work when I'm in my bedroom, the corner of my bedroom, in my lovely Ralph Lauren shirt that I've saved for 2 months to buy. And I would never disseminate the truth about life abroad. If I'm walking in a quiet car park and I find a lovely brand new Mercedes Benz in the background and I'm into deception, I can quickly lean on that car and take a picture and just smack that on Instagram. And then the guys on the ground floor back in Nigeria might look at me and say, "Oh wow, look at the Benz that Phrankleen is pulling, man." Say, my man. So my man is in the UK, man. Look at the Benz, and I'm leaning over, but that's not even my car. I was probably desperately heading down into the nearby train station, heading to the other side of London to go and start my night shift at the factory. Fact. This is the reality. So when they call you on WhatsApp, Franco Nero, oh my God, how far now? Bro, man, yeah, well, yeah, what's up, innit? What? You start giving them the slangs you've managed to pick up here and there. And then it's what I call fraudulent misrepresentation that's quite prevalent in our society, because you're too ashamed to tell them that you're a security guard now, or you work, for a care agency, or you're desperately reliant on somebody else's identity because you're trapped in the shadow of the system. And like, how's work? I say, oh yeah, we thank God, man. Yeah, in fact, the office where I work is just behind where the Prime Minister is. This country is really good. It's better than Nigeria. The Prime Minister comes to get coffee just next to my office in it. In fact, I saw him the other day and I was like, wow, life in London fucking lies. Lies. I've seen people that do that. They tell their families lies. And what that does also is they make up this false image about you. And then the average Nigerian will be like, okay, give me money then. It looks like you've got it all figured out. London is popping. Give me money. And then when you see their WhatsApp messages, you lose your cool. It's the truth. Although I know that some of these families also, some of these friends and families also, even if you tell them the truth, they will still not believe you. I know. But what I'm saying is, stop. Stop lying. Stop lying. There's no point. So before you throw away everything you've got back home, think. That's all I'm trying to say, man. Some pushes Omalanke in Peckham. Come on, stop it. Who is pushing Omalanke in Peckham? Omalanke, what do they use that for here, man? Well, wheelbarrow on a construction site, maybe. At least you get work and can enter train. How many people can get work for Nigeria? No one says abroad life is easy, but you are not having a prayer session to be. Bruv, that's a very, look, you see this idea of at least. No, you are romancipating. What you're doing is you are romancing poverty. If you don't get the premise of this live stream, you see, nobody is trying to insult you. We are having a very honest conversation. In case you don't know, this segment is called Say It Like It Is, okay? At the end of the day, it's your life. Live your best life. I wish you well. This idea of but at least you're trying to make yourself feel good. Do you understand? And I've said this before. I'm going to say it again before I go. Black folks, you need to stop normalizing suffering. Let's stop normalizing being at the bottom end of the spectrum. Let's stop romancing poverty. Do you understand? Some of you, to make yourself feel good, yeah, UK is the best country in the world. It's a lie. We are being tolerated. It's not the best country in the world. It's a lie. Stop romancing, very tedious and difficult positions. Stop doing that, man. Don't make hardship your reality. This is the narrative that we keep selling to ourselves within the black community. If see people on the internet. If I go to the UK, I don't care, man. I would rather work in the factory, man. If the white man gives me opportunity to work in the factory, I don't care. It's better than Nigeria, man. Just, do you think that would make them embrace you even better? The mindset is warped. I would rather work in a factory, man. The Indians don't talk like that. Even if they have to get a factory job for the time being, the mindset is their best asset. It's always also these black folks. Yeah. Okay, I get it. You haven't got papers, right? I know. You're in the shadow of the system. You're in the shadow of the system, right? There are even some of our people, you spend years in the shadow of that system. Eventually, when you get the papers, what do? You carry on washing toilets. Anyways, so think about it, man. That's the message. Thank you for the super chat. How many of us are suffering in Nigeria? How suffering almost killed some of you in Nigeria? Nowhere is easy at all. Just work, invest, and understand how money works. Thank you, money. Great, Phrankleen. Gotta go. Thank you for your wisdom. The pastor is closer to God. I think there are deeper reasons why some Nigerians leave Nigeria. Most Nigerians I know in the diaspora wish to be in Nigeria and not in a foreign soil. Phrankleen, my renewal next year costs is going to be £4,000. Can you imagine? And also, these countries, they make you pay truckload of money to get their papers. They will bleed you dry. Imagine £4,000. £4,000. Yes, Rita, I received your email. £4,000. £4,000 to renew your papers. This is what I was saying earlier, that a lot of these people, when it comes to the time for them to renew their papers, they don't even have that money saved. You think it's easy to save £1,000 for most regular people, especially if you got your wife, you got children, you go and ask now. Sometimes people have to get second jobs. They work tirelessly. So, when people say, okay, cool. Why don't you go back? I said this already. Iwájú ò ṣeé lọ, ẹ̀yìn ò ṣeé padà sí. A lot of people live with the regrets for life. So they accept their reality now. Because why? Out of shame. And it's a big thing. It is a big thing in our society. Oh, you think it's just easy to jump on the plane empty-handed coming from the UK or the US, go back without money in the pocket? That's why people remain. Everybody and their mama knows you're in the US. But your black ass is broke. Oh, you want to go back to Tanzania? Broke. Nigeria? To go back to who? To ask for who? To ask who for help? Fact. The families back home, they're like hyenas. You can't tell them that you're coming home empty-handed. You can't. They will kill you with depression. Anyways, once I secure a better paid remote permanent role, I'm living in the UK, between cold tax and lack of social for me, I need to leave. I want the sun, not to deal with racism among my people. You're so on point. I came in as a tier 4 student, but wifey was able to land a tier 2. We paid £10,050 for both of us and 2 kids for 3 years sponsorship just last December. Jeez! 10,000 and wait, what? £10,050 for both of us and kids for 3 years sponsorship just last December. Goodness gracious. They're milking this immigration thing, man. It's crazy. 10 racks. That's all I'm saying, you know. Have a think before you take everything back home and you throw it down the drain. And again, on the very last note, so I can drop the shutters on this, you know me, I'm a spiritual person. This is why I would say to people, it makes sense. So this is going to come full circle now. Lord Daifa, go and do a predestination check. Go and do divination checks before you make a move. Because just imagine like a game of chess. One move can change your life forever, maybe for good or for bad. But imagine the bad. There are, for example, from the recent outcome of divination, there are people, oh, I've been in the UK 22 years, 18 years, 19 years, 21 years, 23 years. I have no fulfillment. I have nothing to show. All I've been doing is bills, bills, bills. This is why I'm saying, check. There was somebody a few days ago that their divination result came back. Ifa said, you will forever be trapped here in the UK. Your blessing awaits you in Ghana. He left Ghana more than 20 years ago. Ifa said, your blessing is in Ghana. Go back. There's been several divinations whereby Ifa would say, you've got to go back. Or if you are here, you are in a totally wrong field. Don't do this, don't do that. This one said, if I will successfully dissuade you, they didn't raise you right. That's why you are blocked from the channel. It's not a platform for morons, okay? You're clearly not a practitioner of Ifa, and you don't understand that humans we are spiritual beings. So people like you with vegetable in form of a brain, that's why I try to get you off my platform, okay? Go and live your best life. You probably live in Kent. Enjoy your fat bank account. Everyone else like us, leave us alone. Go and watch, better programs that cater to your belief system, all right? Don't be here and project your foolishness. I'll block you straight, no time. Okay? Ifa is what I align with, forms a major part of my life. It's African spirituality. Ifa predates the invaders' religion. You understand? Ifa predates. Thank you, Nelson. Ifa predates invaders' religion. I'm a Yoruba man. I'm from Oduduwa land. My forefathers practiced Ifa. It predates even the white man, the oppressors. They have it documented. African spirituality predates the invaders' religion that was brought to the shores of Africa. So what are you telling me? I'm telling you, man. We Africans have a long way to go. That's right. So anyway, that's me done. Thank you. As many times you say these truths, there are still people who would misinterpret them. Yeah, some of them, because they are designed that way, they would intentionally want to derail others, man. Are you not tired? Okay, if you're that selfish, do we not think about the next generation behind us? Do you understand? There are plenty of people trapped in dead-end jobs. Dead-end jobs. Just going every day, every day, every day, nothing to show. Why should we carry on like that? Why? It's the very colonial psychopathic systems and institutions that we inherited that have placed us in this predicament of debt and mental slavery. Nothing spiritual came out of Europe. Thank you. The way you far blessed me this year, myself here. Well done, successful Jerry. You fag me well. This is why I tell people, man, shine a light on your pathway in life. Don't throw everything you have away, because one silly decisions will shatter your life. It's if an umbrella term or the name of the Nigerian version of African spirituality. It's a Yoruba spirituality. Okay, so you can say it's under the umbrella term of African spirituality. Ifa belongs to us. Frankly, someone just sold a property worth 20 million naira for 5 million naira to move to Canada. People do that. People do that. When they get to Canada, reality will remove their trousers and beat the crap out of them. Don't get me started, man. Go and ask people that live in Canada. They will tell you the truth. Margarita, I will have a look tonight. Okay, I went to jail in Dubai last year because there was something I was supposed to do for my Ifa and I was delaying it. Ha. Book of Ifa, Isla. Yeah. My email is in the description of this video. foodchannel1960@gmail.com, my email address. Anyways, that's me done. It's been a pleasure. Like I said, once again, those waiting for their divination outcomes, I'll get in touch with you. If you want to find out more, you can bang me an email or follow me on Instagram at Phrankleen, the same spelling on my channel. And I'll definitely catch you in the very next one. I wish you best life, as we wade through the waters of this universe. Hopefully we make the right decisions. Please, finally, don't throw away what you've worked for. Don't do it blindly. Don't throw your life away because of the West. The West doesn't care about the black man and woman. Let's care about ourselves. Think about our children. Think about the future. All right?